everybody. It's Thursday afternoon, 1:15. My name is Elize Hattin and I'm coming to you from the Smart Hub for today's HubLive. This is take 2. We just had a couple of sound issues, but we're right to go now. So just very, very quickly, you'll see that I'm on the couch today on my own. I usually have a guest, usually one of our members or people from our ecosystem, from our community. But today I'm on the couch on my own, and I'm not sure whether you can see, but I'm surrounded by bits and pieces of paper, and the reason for that is because I'm going to do a bit of show and tell today as we talk through how to systemize your business, the 9 steps to systemize your business. So before we get into the 9 steps of systemizing your business, Kurt, are we good now? Good, awesome. Before we get into the 9 steps of systemizing your business, I'll quickly just refer to this in a moment, but before we do that, let me talk to you about why we do these Hub Lives. So the Smart Hub is part of Rockhampton Regional Council's digital readiness strategy. What that really means is we exist to help people in our community, in our business community, to do 2 things. Number 1, to adopt technology so that we can run, and modern business practice, so that we can run more profitable, more viable and sustainable businesses from our region. But secondly, we have a second focus, and that is about starting new businesses. So micro businesses, small enterprises, medium enterprises, and also we have a very nice focus on what we call startups. Now, a startup is a company with an international market and lots of growth, quick, fast growth. And so we usually need technology to be able to achieve those goals of good growth. Scalability is the jargon word. And then obviously you need a lot of customers to grow quickly. So hence the international market. So yeah, really that's what we do here at the Smart Hub. Our aim is to create a place where business can thrive. Our aim is to create a community, resources, money, education, programs, workspace, internet, printing, all the things. I'm just mentioning a few, mentoring. I'm mentioning a few things that go into making the Smart Hub community a great place where business can thrive. Now, our HubLive really is one of the ways in which we're reaching out to our community and sharing some best business practice and also encouraging the use of technology. And we've been doing that by chatting through this system over here. And this system is a high-level representation of all of the elements needed in business. So we've been talking about marketing and sales and delivery. So marketing is really the process of reaching out into your environment and touching, getting the attention of the right kind of people, and then getting them one step closer to you by engaging them in some way. So getting them to call you or send you a message. And then we call a person who calls you or sends you a message, we call that kind of person a prospect. And then the process of sales is converting that prospect into a customer and then delivering products or services. Hey, Matt. Hey, Aaron. Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Please hop on and ask questions. I'm going to be talking about systemizing your business, and I have a very cool process for doing so. And also tell you about when the right time is to actually systemize your business. Anyway, so just to go back to this, then we deliver our product or service. This really is operations and customer service, looking after our customers, and we need some finance management, money and other management in place to be able to deliver all of this. And then we're up to systems and team. And what I'm going to be sharing with you today is a combination of how to systemize your business, but also how to get a team to help you, because really systemization is all about like leverage. It's about doing more with less. It's about being able to predictably deliver on the one side demand for your product and service, and we do that through sales and marketing, and on the other side deliver on the promise that we made up here, deliver our product and service. So that's what systems is all about, and so we need to do that, and we can't do that on our own. As the business owner or the manager, one person, we probably cannot build a big-ish business on our own. You can probably do a good job at building a micro business, and you can do a good job with a small team, but John Maxwell says one person, the number 1 is too small to reach any significance. So we usually need a team of people, and we see that all the time at the Smart Hub. If you have a team of people, being able to get traction and get momentum and make some inroads towards achieving achieving your goal is so, so much easier. Hey Jade, hey Carolyn, thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about how to systemize your business. Hop on and ask some questions. We don't usually get many questions, and that's a bit disappointing, to be honest. I would love for you to reach out and give us your questions, and I'll do my very best to answer them. Okay, so let's get into systemizing your business. Now, I have some notes which I'll be referring to. So why do we need systems in the first place? Systems help us deliver consistency and reliability in our business. Now, I just referred briefly before to the whole idea of supply and demand. Now, supply and demand in economic terms is a very a topic that is spoken about a lot, but really what it means is, if you're not familiar with the jargon of it, supply means that you have the ability to supply the goods and services on the one hand, and then demand refers to the fact that there is a market, i.e. other people who want to purchase these goods and services. So what we need to do is we need systems to be able to deliver supply and demand consistently and reliably. And really this top bit here, marketing and sales, is all about ensuring that there is demand. So ensuring that people are aware of the products and services that you have, ensuring that that you're actually solving a real problem, ensuring that we're getting some consistent sales through the door, consistent leads through the door, and people are coming back, buying and engaging in your goods and services predictably and consistently. And we've spoken quite extensively about creating systems around doing this. So what I'm going to do today in the systems is I'm going to speak high level. So I'm not going to be specific about how to create a marketing or a sales system, but if you go back into our library of everything that's saved on our Facebook Live, especially I think we spoke to Tamara about marketing and sales systems, and I think to Matthew Doyle as well a bit about marketing and sales systems, and there'll be others. Go back and watch those, and there'll be some hints on how to create systems for marketing and sales. And then on the other side, we want to be able to supply our goods and services reliably, and we want to be able to wow our customers, to have exceptional customer service. And we need to be able to do that consistently and reliably too. And the thing that underpins the ability to do all of this is this thing called systems. Now, let me tell you what the acronym for systems is. Again, we did mention this a few weeks ago, but systems is all about saving yourself time, energy, and money. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's fabulous. If you can save yourself some time, or you can save money, or you can save energy, why wouldn't you? But the interesting thing about systems is it's really about doing the work once, and then getting either other people or technology to do the same tasks forever. Now that sounds good, right? You as the owner or manager do the work once, and then you get other people or technology to help you do those tasks over and over and over again, and then you can shift your focus either to a different project, or you can actually sell that business as a system that delivers, money consistently, or you can focus on improving your business. Hey Juan, thank you so much for joining us. I love that there are so many people on our HubLive today. Come on, ask a question. I would love a question, but probably too early because I haven't said anything to ask a question about yet. So let me get into it. So, number one, systems. Saving yourself time, energy, money. It's about doing the work once and then having other people or technology do the work forever. So when is the right time for you as a business owner to systemize your business? So there are a couple of trains of thought around this, and I'm going to share with you my personal view. I think you need to start systemizing your business on day one. So whenever you do a task, if you do a task more than once, you need to write it down. And essentially that's what a system is. A system is a predictable process or order of tasks that you can follow. But you should start doing that on day one. But really, if you wanted to systemize your business and apply these 9 steps that I'll be sharing with you today, if you want to do that, the right time to do that is pretty much when you feel run off your feet as a business owner. You're off doing stuff. You do have some consistent cash flow coming in. So you do have some consistent customers coming through the door and you are able to deliver to them, but it's a little bit of a mad rush and it feels a little bit, maybe not chaotic, but overwhelming. And that's a really good time to start thinking and start implementing some of these 9 steps that I'll be sharing with you today. Hey Miranda, thanks for joining us. We're talking about the 9 steps of systemizing your business. So when from day one, start writing things down from day one, because that way you are making your own workload a lot easier as the business owner later as the business grows. But secondly, when you have some predictable cash flow, that's really a great time to start systemizing your business. So one thing that's interesting about systemizing your business is while you are doing it, it's almost like training your staff or inducting a new staff member. While you are doing it, it slows you down a little. While you are doing the systemization of your business, you feel like you are slowing down. That's a good thing. That's a good thing that you're slowing down, because what you're doing is you're slowing down so that everything after that is going to be faster and more consistent. So don't be concerned or alarmed by the fact that you feel like you are slowing down. That's exactly what systemization looks and feels like. Now, let's go straight to the 9 steps. Court, I wonder if you can keep up with me and type them as we go. Okay, so number 1, you must have a vision statement. And I'm going to just say the 9 steps first, and then we'll go through each step and focus on how to do that, why you should do it, what it is, and how to get it done. So number 1, vision statement. Second step is a mission statement. Now, those 2 terms, vision statement and mission statement, are used a lot in business, and a lot of people have what we call difference in opinion about difference in perception of the definition of those 2 steps. But I'll share with you what I mean when I say a vision statement and a mission statement, and then again the why, the what, and the how of how to get that done. The third thing that we need, step 3, is a culture statement. A culture statement, also known as rules of the game, depending on who you talk to. But really, I just went to the CEO's forum for council today, and the whole thing was about our culture statement and our culture survey. So step 3, culture. Step 4, SMART goals. SMART goals. SMART goals. SMART, if you know anything about goal setting, you'll probably be familiar with the acronym SMART, but we'll touch on that in a minute. So once you've set your step 4, so you know what you're doing, you know how to do it, you know how we behave while we're going to do that thing, and we have some goals. And then what we need next is an organizational chart. So this is what an organizational chart looks like, and I'll be referring to it a little bit later. So set an org chart is step 5. Step 6 is positional contracts or positional PDs, position descriptions. That's step 6. Step 7, KPIs, both for departments and individuals. Step 7, that's step 7, KPIs. Step 8, how-to systems. Step 8 is how-to systems. And step 9 is management systems. Now, the good news is that half of this work falls to you, and half of the work, at least half of the work, you can involve your team in helping you do. It's once you've done this, then you are actually well on your way of setting a business up that works without you, that is super saleable, that is an asset with its own value, and something that you can work on instead of in, depending on what you want to do. But from personally, I think that's the dream. That's every entrepreneur's dream, to be able to start a business, build it, finish it, and what I mean with finish it is make the business run without your day-to-day involvement, or with as much or as little involvement as you would prefer to have. So finish your business and then make a decision about what you want to do next. Because ultimately we're all in business for different reasons, but I think what we all have in common as entrepreneurs is really what we're trying to do is we're trying to do some good in the world, we're trying to solve a problem because we're problem solvers, but also we're trying to build some wealth and value in the world. So this systemization process is great for achieving that end result. So let's look at each of those 9 steps. Do we have any questions, Court, or am I being too optimistic? Okay, Matt, Aaron, Jade, Carolyn, Juan, Miranda, please ask a question if you have one around systemization. So let's look at step one. Step one is create a vision statement. So what's interesting about when you're a business owner, a lot of the early work and even in the work in systemizing the business is about thinking about your business and understanding the value that you're providing in the world. So when I say the value you're providing in the world, what I really mean is understanding who it is that you are working with in terms of your customer, really understanding what it is that they need, the problem or the psychological need that you're filling, having a really solid understanding, clear vision and a strong hold on what that is, and then being able to create a big goal around that understanding. So a vision statement, in my opinion, really is 100-year goal. And it's the thing that you need more than just yourself and more than a year to achieve. You need 100 years to achieve it. It's inspirational, it's aspirational, and it has the ability to unite and motivate not just you, but also your team. So at the Smart Hub, our vision is to create a home for entrepreneurs where they have everything that they can thrive. So it's the home where business can thrive. Now, for us to achieve that fully, if we wanted to really serve this ecosystem, this community, our local community, but also Queensland and Australia, to do that, that's a big mission. And I often say to my team, this isn't a job. We're actually doing something that's impacting the world. And that's what you need to be thinking about in terms of your own business. So if you're in IT, you might actually be enabling other business owners to achieve their goals through supporting their IT needs. That could be a vision, just off the top of my head as an example. But I'm going to read some examples to you of vision statements. So the first one is from Southwest Air. It goes, to become the world's most loved, most flown and most profitable airline. That's good. Hey, that's not going to happen in a year. They need a whole team of people, and for people to come to work, they know exactly what it is that they're trying to achieve. So the next one is from IKEA. Our vision is to create a better everyday life for many people. So do you see how it's like a short one-liner? It's a big goal. It's inspiring. It's about creating a better life for others. The Alzheimer's Association, a world without Alzheimer's disease. Now, that's also a big goal. That'll make a huge impact in the world. If they could get that achieved, how wonderful. I'm going to read the last one to you, and I'll try and guess whose vision statement this is. Okay, to be the best quick service restaurant experience. Quick service restaurant experience. Who do you think that is? Being the best means providing outstanding quality, service, cleanliness, value, so that we make every customer in every restaurant smile. So who would that be? Yes, that is McDonald's. That's what the CEO of McDonald's says is McDonald's vision statement. So that gives you a bit of an insight into what a vision statement is. A big part of your role as the business owner is thinking about your business. Einstein said, if they have a problem to solve, he'll spend most of his time thinking about the problem and then a little bit of time thinking about the solution. Do that. Think about the problem that you want to solve in the world. Think about the impact that your business can make. Think about who it's going to make that impact to. And then write a short statement that will inspire you so that you feel like you're getting up every morning and you have the sense, you can see the picture that you're actually contributing something positive, and you can also share that with your team and they feel inspired to do the same. Right, so that's what are we trying to do as a business? That's the vision statement. Now, how are we going to do that? That's the mission statement. So that brings us to step 2. The mission statement is, how are we actually going to achieve the vision? And we're talking high level, so we're not talking a big detailed document. We're talking half a page at most, just talking, showing, painting the picture of what you and the team will do. So here are the 4 questions to answer when creating your mission statement. Question number 1, who are we? So at the Smart Hub, we are passionate professionals, right? That's who we are. Number 2, what do? We provide an ecosystem, build an ecosystem and a home for entrepreneurs where they will find everything they need to thrive. Who are our customers? We work with the region's entrepreneurs, and what makes us different? We are unique because of our approach. So that's just a quick snapshot of what a mission statement will look like. And you need to answer those 4 questions. Number 1, who are we? What do we do? Who are our customers? And what makes us different? So if you answer those 4 questions and write like half a page or a couple of paragraphs, a few sentences on each, and again, it's something that you should then be talking to your team about. As the leader of a business, it's your responsibility to communicate what it is that you're trying to achieve, and it's your responsibility to communicate how it is that you're achieving it. So nice to have that up on the wall somewhere as a visual reminder of what it is and how it is what it is that you want to do and how it is that you're going to do it. So number 3, we spoke about a culture statement. So that's step 3, a culture statement. So now that we know what it is that we're going to do, what problem we're going to solve, and how we're going to do that in our mission statement, our culture statement is really about how are we as a team going to behave while we do this. So are we going to be gung-ho? Are we going to be professional? Are we going to try and be excellent? Are we going to focus on customer service? Like what are the words that will broadly describe how we will behave in this business? What I really love about culture statements is if you have a really great one and you believe in it and you're actually doing it yourself as the business owner, you can use it in recruitment. So what I always encourage my clients to do is to write out how we will behave in our team, and then at the time of induction or recruitment you go, here's my culture, and it might have, teamwork, we have each other's backs, we are always reliable. And then we ask the new candidate or the new team member, are you happy to play this game? Are you happy to play the game and follow these rules? And if they say yes, you get them to actually sign the document. And if ever they do something that doesn't quite fit with the culture, you just bring the document back out and you go, hey, I understand that you weren't reliable in this situation. Is there something that was the matter? What's up with that? Can I help you in any way? Because remember how we all agreed that this is how we will play the game. So a culture statement is a wonderful document to guide behavior. Now, just a little word of warning. In every business, the business owner or the leader of that business sets the culture, which means the following. However you behave is how really becomes the culture in your team. So if you're a very critical person, the culture of your team will reflect that. If you're a very inclusive person, the culture of your team will reflect that. If you have high standards, your team will reflect the high standards. If you have low standards, those low standards will be reflected. So just as a side note, when you're aspirational in writing your culture statement and you're not able to live up to your own culture statement, it creates a heap of problems. Then it's best not to have a culture statement at all. So just a few points on how to do that. No more than 12 culture statements. Really, a big organization usually have 3 or 4. It's better to have less and do them consistently, but if you want to, you can create 12. If you want to get an example of one, just reach out to us on our feed or send us a private message, and I'm happy to share some examples with you. But I'll just read out the points that you need to cover. So 3 points that you want that are important to you as the owner. That's if you have a 12-point culture statement, this is what will be on it. 3 points that are important to you. For example, success, integrity, whatever you find is important to you, productivity. Then 3 points that will be important to the success of the business. Think about what it is that we need to do. So, for example, being agile might be important, or being honest and sticking to our word might be important to the success of the business, or being innovative might be important to the success of the business. So find 3 points, think about this. What does the business need from the team to be able to succeed? And then 3 points that the team like to see. So in our team, we have fun. We do like working hard, but we also like having fun. So fun would be part of the culture in our team. And then 3 points that would be important to your customer. So what is it that the customers would like to see in the way in which your team is behaving? So examples, integrity. And then, so broadly speaking, an example would be a word and then a little paragraph, a little blurb around what that means. So just as an example, if you have integrity, we always speak the truth. We promise, what we promise, we deliver. That would be an example of how you can define integrity. Or excellence. Good enough isn't, we always strive for excellence. Or communication. We always speak positively about our organization, about our team, about our members, and about what we do. We share information and we are open to listening and active communication. Teamwork, etc., etc. So that is step 3. So now we have a vision, we know what we're doing, we know how we're doing it through the mission statement, and we know how we're going to behave and while we are achieving this vision. And then step 4 is a SMART goal. So this is really where you as a business owner must take some time and put your thinking hat on. SMART goals is about answering the following question. What will this business look like when it is finished? What will this business look like when it is finished? Now, I know a lot of people go into business for various reasons, and this might not even be a consideration. And you might not even quite know what I mean when I say finish the business. What does that mean? So let me paint a picture. Finishing the business means, how will this business look when it operates without my day-to-day involvement as a business owner? So when am I going to sell it, or what am I going to do with it? When is it going to provide a passive income to me? But how does it look when it's a standalone entity that kind of operates independently with just some oversight? That's the position that you want to jot down. That's the goal that you want to describe in the SMART goals section of systemizing your business. So you want to think about in the future and put a deadline to it. So SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, with a time frame. So you think about the time frame. By 2025, my business's turnover will be blah, blah. It will be profitable and a percentage. So 30% profitability, it'll be turning over whatever percentage, a dollar amount of money. And this is how it will operate. It will operate without me. So sit down, take time, think about what the business will look like when it's done. And then write some goals. Write some goals that you can review every day. Now, these SMART goals are for you. They are for you to build your business to a point, and then you can decide what you want to do with that business. I've not heard of anyone who's entered into a business because they really wanted to be held prisoner by something. That's never the reason why we go into business. We might love the lifestyle of a business, and if that's the case, good on you. But then, even then, you need to think about when will the business be finished, and you can just take one of the roles in the business. You can still work in the business. You don't need to not work in the business, but you want to picture it, and you want to describe it, and you want to get a sense of what it will be like when you can take 3 months holiday and be with your family and actually get some benefit from all the hard work and risk that you've taken and hard work that you've invested into the business. What I've seen in the Smart Hub is some of our members have some very aggressive SMART goals around building a specific dollar value in wealth for them and their family, and they have a specific strategy to achieve that, which ultimately ends in selling the business. And they have some deadlines, hard deadlines for when to do that. And as I said, they have a high-level strategy to get there. If you need help with setting that SMART goal, please reach out to us. I'm available to meet with you, people in our community. We're very welcoming. Just reach out to us on Facebook, and Courtney will set an appointment with you, and I'll be more than happy to chat you through. We also have other mentors in the hub who could do the same. So the SMART goal, think about what this will look like, how will it be when it's done. Then, moving on swiftly. Now that we know what the SMART goal looks like, then we're going to create an org chart. Now, what we do as business owners is we tend to think about all of our team members, and then when we have to create an org chart, what we do is we try and think, we have Chris, and we have John, and we have Susie and Sally, and where are they going to fit into the business? Well, that's not quite the right approach. What you want to think about is, here's my SMART goal, here's what the business will look like when it's done, and who do I need, not in terms of people, but in terms of roles. So this is essentially just an org chart that I Googled, a template that I Googled very, very quickly and briefly just before we got online. What I would highly recommend is that you do some research, if you're not familiar with the org chart principle, it just provides some structure and it helps you paint a picture and it helps you start thinking about what roles do I need to achieve this big SMART goal and ultimately achieve the vision that the business exists to achieve. And what you do is you jot it down in this way. So interestingly, there are people who say, oh, you should never do an org chart. If you're a small company, it's not worth doing an org chart. It's interesting because there's this level where flexibility and structure cross, and it's at that point where businesses operate at their best. So what I think is it's a good idea, even if it's just for your own benefit, to do an org chart. Not for hierarchical purposes, but to understand and give you a framework to think through what kind of roles do we need. So we're going to have someone to lead this thing. We need a CEO. We have someone to do the marketing. We need someone to do the administration and the bookkeeping. We need someone to take care of the IT. We need someone to look after our customers. We need someone, etc., 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 etc. So we need someone for governance, so in administration and so on. So write down all of the roles. Now you might find if you're the only person in the business right now, hey Kylie, thank you for joining us. If you're the only person in the business right now, your name will be on every block. You might be the CEO and also the cleaner and everything in between. And that's okay. That's not unusual for people when they start businesses. It's not unusual, depending on what kind of business you want, for that to stay the case for a long time if you just want a lifestyle business. But ultimately, just thinking about the roles you need and writing it down in a structured way helps you a long way towards achieving that goal of finishing your business. And it's also a very important step in us systemizing the business, right? So now we know what we're achieving, we know how to achieve it, we know how we're going to behave in the culture statement. Then we know how the business will look when it's done, and then we know who we need to be able to get this done. Okay, so let's move on to the next step, which is position descriptions. So once we've defined the positions, then we go and think about what are the tasks that each of these positions need to complete to be able to achieve, the goal of finishing the business. And we jot them down. And if you haven't seen a PD, again, you can just go to Google position descriptions. There are templates, there are free templates, there's training on YouTube. There's so much information about how to actually create position descriptions. I'm sure if you go on the App Store, there'll be apps to help you with that, as there is for everything. So just write down essentially, but you can keep it really simple. You can just use a paper and pen, and all you need to do is jot down the roles for each, or the actions, the activities for each of these roles. That becomes your position description. What you might also want to do is you might want to make notes about who the ideal person would be to do that. So if you have bookkeeping, for example, you might want to get someone who actually enjoys working with numbers and who is very reliable and has high integrity. For your salesperson, you might want someone who is an extrovert and who likes being in contact with people and who is a persuasive communicator. Our marketing expert, we might need someone who is an expert in digital marketing, who knows all about the internet and how to use social media and how to make websites, etc., etc. So you need to start writing this down. If you're starting to think, oh my goodness, this sounds like a lot of work, yeah, it is a bit of work, but I've never ever seen anything worthwhile without some work. And what's great about systemizing your business is you do the work once, you reap the benefits forever. You do the work once and then you reap the benefits forever. In my mind, it's worth the work. So once you've written down the position descriptions, then we go to the next step, which, as you know, step 7 is about creating KPIs. So KPI, the acronym KPI, is short for Key Performance Indicator. If you've not heard that word before, it's a little bit tricky to get your head around the concept of it in the first place, but it's actually, once you see what it is, it's actually quite simple and you'll go, oh yeah, I understand what that means. So key performance indicator is the thing that if you are going to do all of these little tasks, what's the key result that we expect to see. So for us at the Smart Hub, for example, a key performance indicator might be something like a number of members. So remember how we're trying to create a community where where entrepreneurs can thrive? Well, if we're really doing that, then we expect to see members here who are taking advantage and who find value in us having all these elements of a place where business can thrive. So key performance indicator for us is the number of members. That's an example, or social media engagement, etc., etc. Those will be examples of key performance indicators. So what you want to do is you want to then look at your job descriptions. So you have your org chart, you have a job description for each of the boxes, and you might not need as many boxes as this example, but you'll have a description for each of these, and then you go, okay, well, I've written a page and a half of activity for the admin person. The admin person does her job or his job exceptionally well. What are the 3 to 6 results that we expect to see? We expect to know that, no complaints about, 0 complaints about administration, easy to find filing. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but geez, I hope that you can kind of get a handle and some pictures around what KPIs mean. And so then you jot down the 3 to 6 key performance indicators for each of the roles. So now we know who we need to complete this business, and we know by what date we have to have these people in place. And now we are ready to actually write a system. How good is that? So there's lots of work that goes in prior to writing your how-to systems, which is step 8. And as you can see, we're almost done. But at step 8, that's when we're going to start writing down how to actually do each task. So it is literally as simple as taking a piece of paper or your computer. Obviously, it would be better to have it in a digital format because then save it, back it up, and save it in different places. Look after your computer security. But then go to your computer, or if you want to make it really, really simple, take a piece of paper and a pen. And what you do is you write down how to do and complete every task. Now, so checklists are great examples of systems. You can use photographs, you can use videos, you can use descriptions and explanations. In fact, the best systems are a combination of all of those things. So you're creating essentially almost like a Bible for your business, where anyone can go in and complete any task because they can go to the how-to system for that task and they can get the job done. Because it says step by step, do this, do this, do this, do this. There might be screenshots if it's a technology thing, or there might be photos of what the lunchroom needs to look like when it's perfectly clean, or and there should be marketing systems. There really should be systems for everything in your business. Marketing systems, sales systems, delivery systems. I just spoke to someone recently about a sales system. What does that look like? So, when you first start talking to someone, how do you structure the conversation in those meetings to eventually lead to where that person becomes a customer? And then beyond that, how can you add more and more value to them? So how can you increase your average dollar sale amount, and how can you increase the number of transactions that they do with you week by week, or year, or annually, or monthly, or etc. So I'm hoping that this is starting to make sense to you. It's a very structured approach, and in the end, you know exactly why your business exists, what the big inspirational thing is that it's trying to do in this world. You know on a high level how you're going to achieve that goal. You know how your team will behave. You also know who needs to be in your business to achieve that goal that you've set of when your business will be done. So to what level are you going to grow your business? To what level do you want to be involved in your business? So you've set that goal, and you know through the org chart what roles are necessary, and you know what each role will do, and broadly what they'll be responsible to delivering. So in the end, you can look at all your KPIs and go, if we hit all these KPIs, then this business is achieving brilliant goals. It's doing exactly what it's meant to do. It's solving a problem in the world. It's making the right sustainable revenue, and it's being profitable so that it's worth your while as an owner to continue on with the business. It's really interesting when you go to your how-to systems, back to step 8, to think about creating an ideal day, an ideal week, and an ideal month. So you can tell that you're creating a lot of structure in your business, right? An ideal day, an ideal week, and an ideal month for these different roles. And again, all you're doing is you are documenting exactly what is needed to achieve the KPIs. And when you achieve the KPIs, you've already thought about how all these systems will interact and how that will achieve your SMART goal of finishing the business, and by the deadline that you've set to finish the business. So once you have those schedules, then of course you want to either recruit the team or you want to put up a recruitment system. But ideally, if you have consistent cash flow, you probably already have the team in place. So then the final thing is to train your team and train in your systems consistently. And then the last system to improve or to include in the how-to system is a continuous improvement system, so that your systems get reviewed constantly and you're constantly asking the question, how can we do this better? It's great to get your team involved at this point. Get them to document what they do. Yes, it is a lot of work, but it's totally worth it. It's also at this point where you can ask the question, is there a technology that can help me do this better? And implement that technology, bring it into the fold, do some research about what technology is available. And what I found is that there is no perfect technology, just as there's nothing perfect in this world. But what there is technology that can definitely do 80% of what you need, and maybe you can do a little bit, you can do the 20% manually, or you can find a different technology that talks to this other technology that helps you get the whole job done. So talking about 80-20, you would be familiar with the 80-20 rule. It's a productivity rule. It really is a rule that applies to everything in life. So let me just give you a bit of insight into the 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle. It's also known as Pareto was the person who first noticed this phenomenon in the world. This is how it works. If you go to your wardrobe, you will be wearing 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. I know for me, that's definitely the truth. You walk on 20% of your carpet 80% of the time. You use 20% of your resources 80% of the time, and so forth and so forth. So that rule applies heavily in systemization, and here's how you apply the rule. You systemize 80% and you humanize the exceptions, so 20%. So once you have your systems documented and created, your goal is to at least use those systems 80% of the time. And it's only when little things come up that aren't documented that you humanize those exceptions and you get involved and you use your brain and your own resources to solve that problem. If that same thing comes up twice, that's an indication that that needs to be included in your system. So the whole premise of systemization is if it happens twice in your business, you need to write it down and include it in your system. So then use your team and then use technology as well. And then we're up to our very, very final point in systemization, which is management systems. Now, management systems is obviously, once you have all of the other 8 steps in place, it's simply asking yourself the question, what do I need to do? Or whoever is going to be tasked with managing this system of systems, which is what a business is, whoever's tasked with managing this business, what do they need to do? And again, you just write down a list of things. You can write down checklists, you can do videos, you can do photographs, you can involve management team in your management systems. And again, ideally, you would be creating a bit of a schedule around that. So in an ideal day, what would you be doing in an ideal week, in an ideal month, an ideal quarter? And you'll see that there is predictability and consistency around these timeframes. So that's when you do the management systems last. And once you have the management system in place, that's when you can finally make the decision. Am I going to be the manager? Am I going to be the CEO? Am I going to be the general manager? Or do I want to give that role to someone else? And I can then either sell the business because it doesn't depend on me, or I can go and have a long vacation because the business doesn't depend on me, or can I just, reap the rewards from that business? So once you have your management systems in place, that's when the systemization process is done, except for the continuous improvement system, which obviously runs all the time, and management should be involved in leading that process. So there you go, 9 steps for systemizing your business. If you have any questions, or if you would like a hand in systemizing your own business, please feel free to reach out to our Smart Hub Facebook page or our email, smarthub@rrc.qld.gov.au. We have a phenomenal community of people. It's very welcoming. I know what it's like when you're on the outside of something and these people say, oh, come and join us, and they all know each other, and you feel a bit, oh, I don't know, and I don't know what it's really about, and I don't know how I can really benefit from it. If you're thinking any of those thoughts, a very easy first step is just to walk through the door, and we have a lovely person at the front desk who will just take you around and show you the facility. And then if you just want to have a chat with me, and I'll just ask you about your business, and we can talk about how we can work together or how the Smart Hub can benefit you. So if you have, or just link in with our newsletter even, just send us your email address through private message, and we will put you on our mailing list, and that way you can keep in touch with what it is that we do here. So thank you very much for joining me for the 9 steps. The question drought is not broken. No questions. Come on. Next week, is it next week that Leanne's here? Okay, I have to talk about this. Next week, I will be on the couch with our chief entrepreneur, Leanne Kemp. So this is important for 2 reasons. The first reason is we are having some really great activities with her while she's here. And the highlight, the thing that I'm hoping you would absolutely prioritize in your life and put in your schedule and attend, is next Thursday at 5:30. Is that right, Court? 5:30. And it is a talk from Leanne where she'll be talking about how to find product market fit and how to scale your business. Leanne is such an amazing entrepreneur. She is a serial entrepreneur. That's how she refers to herself. And at the moment, she's building a great business around blockchain. She's super knowledgeable, super down to earth and approachable. So please come and support us and support Leanne, and also learn something, and come and share a drink with us and some nibblies. We would love to meet with you and see you. So the way to register for that, and it's a free event, just look in the comments. The amazing Courtney has already posted the link, I'm sure. And then secondly, next Thursday at 1 o'clock, hopefully promptly at 1, we will be talking to Leanne. So please send in some questions if you have any questions for Leanne. And I know often people ask me to ask questions, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what to ask. I don't want to look stupid, I don't know really what this is about, and I blah, blah, blah. Just, if you're not sure, just private message us a question, and then we can talk to you about clarifying what it is that you mean if we're not sure. But any question is valuable, and what I know is that if you ask a question, there are 20 other people who are too afraid to ask that very same question and who are grateful that you asked. So please feel free to reach out either on the Facebook Live, would be awesome, and please actually tune in, or launch your question with us prior to next Thursday, and we'll be sure to ask Leanne. And then please join us at 5:30. Just click the link. It's a free event. We very, very much look forward to seeing you next Thursday on our HubLive. See you then.